Hello, everybody. Due to technical difficulties, this is another audio edition of Voice of Reason as Mount Pleasant has a big win tonight over a very tough and physical Smyrna team. Joined now, 53-45, by the way, Mount Pleasant wins. Joined now by Raheem Burnett. Raheem, welcome to Voice of Reason. It's so good to see you again, my friend.
Thank you for having me.
15 points tonight. You are our Voice of Reason player of the game. Your thoughts on this game tonight? Sloppy first half, but you'll take this win in the end. You could be taking on this team that's about to come out in a few moments. That's the top-seeded Sanford Warriors, a school that has won 17 consecutive games, a school that has dominated Delaware basketball over the last 20 years.
We came out a little sluggish today. I think it was a lot of nerves and jitters. We didn't want to make mistakes. But as the game started going on and on, we told each other that, like, it's now or never. So, like, we got to play. Even with the mistakes, we got to play through it.
Yeah, you're a man that, again, I've known you for probably a few years. I've seen a few of your games. I've definitely seen a lot more of you at AAU basketball, but it's a little different when you're playing on your school team. Talk about what you feel like you need to do to get things again going, to keep this thing going, because you play for a very well-respected coach. I happen to know your buddy Dejan Backus pretty well, and I didn't realize Dejan doesn't even start, but he really was a big presence tonight. Kayvon Kramer really was a coming-out party for the freshman. Your thoughts on him tonight?
Kayvon is going to be a phenom. He's so athletic, and he just play hard through the whistle. And Dejan is a big lift coming off the bench. Whatever we need inside, we can go to him for dunks, for blocks. Just he's a great passer, and he runs the floor well.
There was a little bit of a scuffle at the beginning of the game, and it allowed one of their best big men getting ejected from the game. How huge was that down the stretch, and do you feel like that really changed the outcome of this game? Was it a big part of it, though?
Yeah, it was huge, but we know our coach tells us all the time, if a scuffle happens on the floor, we all grab each other and we just break it up.
What's it like playing for a coach like Lisa Sullivan?
When I first came into high school,
you thought this was nuts, right?
Yeah, I never played for a female coach before, but like, Coach Lisa's probably one of the toughest coaches I ever played for, and like she gave us that toughness because she's a lady coach and competing against men coaches every game. So like we just play tough every game.
Raheem, you're one win away again from not only advancing to the finals, but trying to make history. What would it be like if you were to take out a top school like Sanford, assuming they go on to win tonight against Milford?
It would be fun.
Any chance I could play in that game? No, I'm just kidding. Raheem Burnett, so good to see you again. Thank you for being again on Voice of Reason. Audio edition of Voice of Reason coming up next. The top school in Delaware, the Sanford School Warriors. They're coming up next against Milford right after this. 53-45 is your final in favor of Mount Pleasant. This is Jake Schwartz again for an audio edition of Voice of Reason. Hello, everybody, for another audio edition of Voice of Reason. This is Jake Schwartz, serving the tri-state area for both high school and college sports. And welcome back to the show, Mr. Quinnipiac himself, Mikey Dixon. Mikey, how are you?
I'm good, feeling good. It's always good to get a win, survive in advance. That we did, so can't complain.
Well, I thought you were going to say it's always good to be around the best high school commentator in the country, though.
Yeah,
that helps. That definitely helps. You know what? Am I probably the best high school announcer, probably the only announcer that probably does the best dab, though?
I got to give it to you.
Yeah, I was probably going to say that. Mikey, you had a good night tonight. Another night in the office. 25 points for you. You'll take this win. Little sluggish. Actually, this was another set of unusual basketball that we saw here tonight. Again, a triple overtime game between, again, as mentioned, Del Castle and the number 2 seeded William Penn. You start out the game with a technical foul because of what's called a invalid, I guess, number in the book. You'll take that opportunity, and really you took over from there. Talk about that.
It's always good to start off with free throw, with free points.
Yeah.
You know, two free shots at the charity stripe. You can't go wrong with that. I made both of them, and then from there, just got in the zone. I think once I got the deflection and the dunk, I was just in my zone from there, and I was ready to go.
You definitely seemed like you were just really confident tonight. You're a lot more confident because as long as I've known you, you've always been somebody that's always been very overconfident, somebody who's always just wanted to play at the best ability. I mean, there's been a lot of great guards that have come through Coach Stan Waterman school over the years. One who was here tonight, Anthony Mosley, was always somebody who had a lot of heart and determination. He's done that here at the University of Delaware. Has he passed that kind of along to somebody like you?
Yeah.
Because I know you played with him for 2 years.
Yeah, me and Aaron are real good friends. You know, we actually go way back before high school. We grew up together. I think I played on like my second AAU team with him. So we got a long history. I know Ant for a long time.
That's right, because you were both We Are One kids.
We Are One, exactly.
I definitely remember that. You know, that shows how long you and I have known each other, because we go back to the days of We Are One, don't we?
Yeah.
Jacob Walsh had a big night of his own tonight with 10 points. But talk about the future of Sanford basketball, and that's our good buddy Jair Davis. How big was he down the stretch tonight?
He's going to be tough. You know,
he could be one of the best high school eighth graders in the country, right?
You know, not even in high school yet. He was big for us. You know, he sinked the three early on in the corner that gave us live. Couple putbacks, you know, he's talented. So
we have a guy like that actually back in Pennsylvania who was like that when he was in eighth grade. I believe his name was Cameron Reddish, if you remember who he is. But coming up this week, Thursday night should be a very good matchup. Mount Pleasant, who certainly has a good guard of their own, Raheem Barnett, who I believe is one of the top guards here in the state of Delaware. You'll have a lot of opportunities to really get the ball kind of out of his hands. But there's another good underclassman player, and that's Kayvon Kramer, I believe is his name. Or Javon Kramer. Kayvon Kramer should be a very big matchup again, as mentioned tonight. What do you feel like you need to do to keep this thing going? 18 in a row. You're one of the hottest teams in the state of Delaware. You might even be one of the hottest teams, high schools in the country. What will you need to do to keep this drive going?
You know, just come out and play how we've been playing from the start. We don't try to really worry too much about what the other team does or what the other team has. You know, we feel like if we come out and take care of our game keys and do what we've been doing, we should be fine. But it's definitely not going to be a cakewalk Thursday week. I feel like we got to come ready to play.
Who do you like in that game? Voice or possibly Sanford? I'm only kidding. No, who do you like? No, come on. You know I could still take you one-on-one if you believe that.
You already know me.
Awesome. Get out of here. Mikey Dixon, it's good to see you again as always. Congratulations on a well-deserved win for Michael Dixon again, who is our player of the game. And the final score again, it was all Sanford tonight, handing Milford a 64-49 loss. They have now won 18 consecutive games. Mikey Dixon, our player of the game, with a game high of 25 points. Milford also getting a good lift, I should actually point out tonight, out of Henry Nesmith, who finished with 20 points of his own. Well, that's going to do it again from us here at an audio edition of Voice of Reason. Congratulations to all the teams who participated. At 6:30 on Thursday night, we are back here again at the University of Delaware's Bob Carpenter Center. As coming up at 6:30, St. George's will take on Delcastle, knocking off the number 2 seed. And I should say the likes of William Penn. It should be a very interesting matchup. Also, coming up on Thursday at 8 o'clock, Sanford, will take on Mount Pleasant. Also a great matchup, 1 versus 4 and 7 versus 6. This has been a presentation again of another high school edition of Delaware State Basketball for Voice of Reason. Follow us on Twitter at JacobSchwartz23. Like us on YouTube, Voice of Reason. From all of us here at the Bob Carpenter Center, I'm Jake Schwartz. We'll see you at the games. And don't forget to see us tomorrow at Camden Township. Camden trying to close out the South Regional Brackets at NJSIA. They will take on Medford Tech tomorrow at 6 p.m. I'm Jake Schwartz again. Good night.